Right in the heart of Silver Bullet.
Yeah. I think they plotting on man. Don't wipe their feet when they enter the lab. I feel a cold stare.
I was talking to this guy a while ago, right? This couple years ago. He was like, I think men make better parents than women because women raise their children strictly off of emotion, but that father, while he's going to give that child love, he's going to incorporate more structure into the child's life, which makes for a better, more healthy whole kid, because a lot of times women will love their children and provide them with so much love, but they didn't necessarily have that structure that they needed. And I actually agree. I do feel like a stable man probably can raise a healthier kid.
Yeah, you know why though?
Yeah,
because women have been doing it by themselves so long that they think that they have like nailed it.
Yeah,
they think can't nobody do it better than them, so they don't even try.
Yeah.
They just think that because they in the house with them, they paying the bills.
Right.
They getting this little $50 check every week or whatever for child support. So now they putting him down because he's not paying child support.
Right.
And then they hold it over his head because he's not paying child support. So therefore he can't see his child. But that's some other trifling shit that I think. I mean, I just don't think that that's right.
Right.
I mean,
modern dads are better than modern moms. I'm gonna just do that one. From what they're talking about, right? People don't want to admit that a lot of the issues that a lot of single mothers are facing on raising kids and all the frustrations are usually self-inflicted. And they get frustrated off of the situation that they fought for, and then they want to blow the whole situation up. And then they wind up being terrible parents because of that. So this is what I mean. So there's a lot of single moms out here for years who fought for primary custody, non-custodial primary custody, to the point where they got that, and then fought to make sure when it was the dad's time to be with the kids, they fought to keep the kids away from their dad, and then turned around and was like, I got these kids all the time and I'm stressed out. And then they become bad parents going down that same logic and ideology. And the same concept of teaching these kids how to lie, how to manipulate other people, manipulating their kids to the point that kids are confused. And then the kids make bad decisions because, unfortunately, a lot of kids was taught that bad was good because mom was doing bad stuff, but she had the kids, so it must be right. And now you got kids who, are on the phone hollering out, Mr. Tigger, and their mom is wanted, basically. You get what I'm saying? Which I'll get into that on another video if I do it. But a lot of times the dads aren't this doggone dysfunctional. That's why modern dads are better than modern moms. They're not this doggone dysfunctional. People like to bring up, oh, he paid they paid a little child support. Let me run this one by you. You do realize when fathers have custody, normally the women don't pay child support. Even the courts help them weasel out of that. So it's only little money when she's receiving it, but when it's time for her to spend it, she ain't do that. Same child she loving need to provide for my child, and the money is for us, and it's for the mortgage, and it's for the rent, and it's for the car note, it's to keep lights on. And then when it's time, when you put the shoe on the other foot, that purse closed. They like F that kid. So that's another reason why modern fathers make better parents than modern mothers. The structure is completely different. The structure of what the household is going to be, what we're going to do, because a lot of times, a lot of modern moms weren't preparing their kids and aren't preparing their kids for adult life. They're just glorified babysitting. You get what I'm saying? Some of y'all I'm gonna use this kid to watch that kid. And on top of that, let me back up. If the relationships with the dads were so bad, you wouldn't have to demonize the dad. See, the dads ain't out here throwing moms under the bus. Oh, she's this and she that, and she this and she that, and she that. Hey, you don't like her, you shouldn't like her. Why would she do? All that is not really going down. So a lot of y'all play this game where y'all say men are so bad and fathers are so bad, but you're the one putting the negativity into the kids. The kids have an issue because they generally don't see the evil that you gave them. You get what I'm saying? But we went here, but he did it. I don't get it. See, a lot of times y'all not focused on the right thing. Y'all focused on the drama more than you focused on kids' grades a lot of times. Y'all focused on the drama more than you concerned about these kids' health. That's why I hate to say this, but I ain't see this many bad built, weak adults in my life. Like, I don't understand. Like you're super fat, you're super skinny, you just, you know, dudes walking around being thick. I'm like, what the fuck? That's because there is, a lot of the weird, bad hygiene to me is because of that. It's because, the same way we talk about women with bonnets, some of these young men, it's like, bro, you got hair, comb it. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Like, learn how to put on a better outfit. And I'm a person who's, I'm one of them comfortable people. But there comes a point where it's like, no, I'm not going out like that. I'm not showing myself like that. But it goes back to quote unquote parenting. Like, that was the whole issue when people were talking about, unfortunately, they would say, black women are the most educated, but then the kids, now you say the kids can't read. Partially, that's partially the school's problem too, because the school dumbed down the curriculum to the point where having smart kids was a problem. I don't understand that, but that's a whole problem. But because they were more concerned about, that's why they took the phones out in the recent years. But the schools, even in that process, the schools have been tired of moms enabling bad behavior, moms exhibiting bad behavior when they're confronted about their kids' behavior, and it's like, oh, now we see why their kid act like that. That's a problem, And I think even the stereotype of a mother's love, I don't think they're as loving as they used to be. That's just my 2 cents, because you have to love your kid enough to challenge them to be a better person or a functional adult. And y'all not doing that. Y'all haven't been doing that for a very long time. So that's why I would say modern fathers make better parents. And a lot of times, and you see it even now, you see it, and if somebody makes it a racial issue, we see it in other communities too, by the way. We see how the kids are soft, sarcastic, angry for no real reason, unskilled, a lack of curiosity, a lack of motivation, a lack of direction, not knowing where they want to go in general, not having even a dream for themselves. And then, basically self-destructing because of that. And a lot of times the dads are only people that can right the ship, because sometimes you can right the ship, but a lot of, how can I say this? A lot of times you might not be able to fix it, but you might be able to right the ship. So that's an issue, huge issue. And I'll say this, Another thing is a lot of moms are lazy. A lot of mothers have been lazy for a very long time. And that's why you see sometimes young adults having the problems that they do, because they weren't taught basic skills. They weren't taught how to present themselves. They weren't taught hygiene. They weren't taught cleanliness. They weren't taught critical thinking. They weren't taught manners. They weren't taught empathy. They weren't taught this stuff. And now you got people basically, let's just say 20 and up, out in society trying to figure out. And you saw that even with the quote unquote quiet quitting, or people saying young adults on jobs are terrible. No work ethic, don't want to work, call in, want more than they're willing to put in. It's the same process. And then people go, yeah, mama babied them. So, and a lot of times, even with that situation, I say modern men are better parents, because with a lot of single moms, a lot of y'all are looking for a man, even if it's not the dad. Y'all looking for another man to come fix it. But they don't even know how I got messed up, but they figure out how we got messed up when they're dealing with you. So that's another point of view. But I'm going to end it at that. Tell me what you think. Catch you on the next one. Peace.